Welcome to another episode of The Latest with Maya. Today, I am beyond excited to be having a conversation with actor Brian T. Brian starred as Dr. Ethan Choi in Chicago Med for 8 seasons, which I am binge watching Chicago Med right now. And he has also starred in movies like The Fast and the Furious, Tokyo Drift, and The Wolverine, and guest starred in another one of my favorite shows, Grimm. Um, Most recently, you can see Brian in the miniseries Expats on Amazon Prime. Thank you so much for being on my show.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. And wow, binge watching Chicago Med. That's a lot of episodes.
Yeah,
So I hope you have a lot of time.
yeah, I do.
Good, good. Amazing. Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's get started. So who has had the biggest impact on the person you have become?
Hmm. I think there's multiple people. I think it's also in multiple stages of my life. I feel very early on, I was raised by three women, which was my mom, my aunt, and my grandmother. And in my 20s, uh, I went to school. I studied uh, drama and acting up at UC Berkeley, and I came back and I wanted to pursue acting in Los Angeles proper. And at the time, my grandmother was living in Koreatown with my aunt. My aunt remarried and moved out, and everyone was kind of worried about grandmother. So I opted to take care of grandmother and try to cover all the bills and everything while working as an actor and take care of her. And the best thing that happened for me was I lived and took care of her for the last, I would say, 10 to 12 years of her life until she passed. So in that sense, she was such, again, an inspiration, but I feel like I became the man that I am today because of that journey and that experience with her. And she continues to watch over me on a daily basis, that's for sure. And also, my wife has been an incredible inspiration moving forward. I met her, gosh, I think it was probably 13 years ago now, and we've been kind of hand to hand and side by side together on our journey. She's an actress as well. And of course, our daughter is another incredible inspiration. So I've had many, many, many inspirations. I just feel very lucky and blessed to have lived this life and this journey with all of them.
Oh, I love that.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Um, So, what motivates you even on days when you aren't really feeling it?
It's interesting. I get to do what I love to do. So it's always a incredible motivation. I don't ever feel like I don't want to be there. I know there are times where hours are long and things are really tough, but I always try to think back on the allowance or the opportunities that I get to really fulfill my dreams. And I think if you pursue the things that you love, that will always guide you. And if you can continue to be grounded and keep a particular perspective of self, that will always lead you in the direction no matter how hard it gets. So I feel like that continual reminder has always been kind of the thing that I've led on. When times are tough or shoots have been hard or if I'm feeling down in a particular way, I always try to think back on those kind of qualities that I've been able to kind of fulfill as far as my dreams are concerned, and that puts me back into a place of reality and positivity moving forward.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Um,
Thanks.
yeah. Um, if you had a reality TV show about your life, what would it be called?
That is a great question. A reality TV show, I would say it would be the world that revolves around Madeline. Madeline
Mm.
is my 8-year-old daughter,
Oh,
and literally me and my wife's world just revolves around her. So in that sense, she's her own reality show, and I'm just a part of it. That's really all it is. And I think if I were to have one, I would only be like a supporting character in her television show as far as her reality is concerned. So, but it's great. It's amazing. I love being a father. I love being a husband. I love having a family, and I'm very, very blessed to be in this position. So yes, if there ever was a reality series, it would be the world that revolves around Madeline.
I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Um, so what small things bring you joy on a daily basis?
Wow. Again, my daughter, she's small in stature, but big in everything else. My wife, I think my dog, I think all the little things that
Yeah,
I get to really truly appreciate in
yeah,
the world in which kind of I exist. What I find fascinating is I get to play pretend
yeah,
for my whole life as a job.
yeah,
And kind of, I guess, reverting back to the, I guess, two questions prior, it's also that idea or that feeling inside of me whenever things are down is like, I get to play pretend. This is
yeah,
what we're doing. It's not that
yeah,
serious. I get to play pretend and fulfill my dreams
yeah,
and do what I love to do. And so for answering this particular question, the small little things really bring me joy
yeah,
because I feel like life should be that way. Life should be a joy in that sense, as long as you keep a good perspective and appreciate the things that you have around you. Um, I think those are the things. I think it's the small things that you connect with that really, really matter.
yeah. I love that. Yeah, I am yeah, a big fan of just all the small things, finding all the small things that bring
Yes.
joy.
Yes. No, same,
Yeah,
same here.
yeah, yeah. So I am pop culture obsessed and I go in stages of shows that I cannot stop watching. Um,
Okay.
is there a show that you are currently obsessed with?
That is a great question. Aside from mine, the one
Yes.
that I'm on right now, which is Expats now streaming on Amazon Prime Video.
Yeah.
I think I guess I just binged Gen V.
Hmm.
I was a fan of The Boys, which is also on Amazon, and I just binge watched Gen V. Not for everybody, but I was enthralled, especially with the storytelling and how they kind of connect the two together. But the poignancy of certain things that they do in this superhero world that really kind of magnify everyday society, which is very, very interesting and fun to watch. It's a very smart written show that I feel entertains all the same, but what I like to say is kind of like hides the spinach in certain ways. So you're getting kind of the nutrients of what they're trying to send message wise, yet entertaining in a really impactfully wonderful way.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
about you? What are you watching? That's what I want to know.
Oh, aside from Chicago Med,
Okay.
um finishing watching Grimm. And my mom and I just I can't remember what show we just finished watching. Oh yeah, we just got caught up on all of Resident Alien. And now we're watching The Rational. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, I love binge watching shows, and then I also love shows that come on weekly because then I have something to look forward to.
True. What would you rather have? Would you rather have it all at once and you could just kind of sit down at your own pace, or would you rather, or do you enjoy kind of the weekly excitement of it all?
Yeah, both. So
Oh,
yeah, I love like since I was younger, like going through all the medical stuff, I always loved having these shows during the week that I could like look forward to on days. So
sure.
like I love having those shows that I know like on this day I get to watch this.
Yeah.
So
No, I think I'm the same way. I enjoy the shows that are more serialized to binge all at once,
yeah,
but I also enjoy the weekly progression of what I call like network broadcast television
yeah,
series
yeah,
because it allows you to kind of have kind of a beginning and end to each episode, so you can kind of
yeah,
come back and anticipate what the next, if it's Chicago Med, what the next medical drama would be in
yeah,
that sense too. So yeah, I like best of both worlds myself as well.
yeah. Yeah. Like for me, there's um yeah, like Wednesdays, I know I get to watch a new episode of Chicago Med, and like Tuesdays, there's The Rookie. So
Nice.
and a couple other shows. So yeah,
Love it. Love it.
yeah. Is there like a show or movie that that's your go-to when you just want to be comforted and kind of escape?
Ah, that is a great one. I am a huge and still am a huge fan of Breaking Bad. And it's not
Yeah,
like the huggy type of comforting television show, but I think for myself, it's just one of the best shows ever written on television. And I'm a huge Bryan Cranston fan.
yeah,
I think he's done amazing work just as an artist, but then also as an individual and human being.
yeah,
Um, so in that sense, I
yeah,
feel like Breaking Bad would be
yeah,
the thing that I would turn on if I would just want, I just, because I know one, I'll be entertained, one, I'll be completely enthralled. It's
yeah,
extremely smart writing, and I think the more I watch it, the more I learn and feel also the other nuances.
yeah,
And I think that's what makes a show great. I think that's what makes a show really wonderful.
yeah,
I've had the privilege to be a part of Expats, and Expats is exactly that kind of show. If
yeah,
you ever get a chance to watch it,
yeah. My mom and I actually watched it.
oh wow,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
I think when you watch it again, you get other things and other nuances and other feelings.
yeah,
Right? It's a very kind of get the feels kind of television series. And so I enjoy shows like that that you can kind of go back to and learn new things and feel new things and actually see different perspectives that you didn't get the first time. And I think that's what makes a show
yeah,
great.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, I have so many like shows that just and movies that just comfort me and like
Hmm.
um the most recent or one of the most recent movies that came or a movie that came out more recently is the movie Barbie. That is
Of course.
a huge comfort movie for me. I just
Yes.
watched it the other day with a friend of mine who had never seen it.
I
So
love it. I
yeah,
love it. I love Barbie. I think it's an amazing movie. My wife
yeah,
loves Barbie. My daughter
yeah,
is obsessed with Barbie, so I've
yeah.
probably seen it 4 or 5 times myself.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've seen it now like 3 times, and so
Yeah.
and I love it, like, even more every time because I catch things I didn't catch the first
Yeah.
time. No,
Yes. I think that's the greatness of wonderful pieces of art like Barbie, like Breaking Bad, like Expats. I think you
yeah,
continue to watch it over and over again and get different things and different experiences as well.
yeah,
Because I think that's a testament to how smart the writing is, right? I think it's so many different levels and so many different layers that
yeah,
the experience every time you're watching is different, and it could be different because you're with someone else or you're feeling a certain way at that time. And I think
yeah,
when you watch certain things, you're seeing it through your lens of however you are and or feeling. So you experience it differently.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
it's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. Um, so do you have any irrational fears?
Just fears in general?
Yeah.
Huh. Um, do I have any fears? I guess I have a fear whenever my daughter
Mm,
experiments with certain things as far as her athletic ability, right?
mm,
I think she is fearless in every sense of the word. And I'm the father that sits back and doesn't ever want to stop her from challenging herself, but is like in trepidation in the hopes that she doesn't hurt herself. Yes. I
Yeah.
live in that constant fear because my
uh,
daughter
yeah.
is again is absolutely fearless. So I take all of the fear that she should have, just kind of test the waters first instead of diving into the pool, but that's okay. I'd rather her take those leaps of bravery
Mm,
um
yeah.
and learn from that rather than me stopping her. So yes, I'll just take all of the fear for myself.
Um, so what song best describes your life right now?
Ah, that is a wonderful question. Um, I like I'm trying to think about all the songs my daughter has now been learning. Um, and my wife and I grew up in a generation of, the 80s and the 90s, which was kind of our jam. So we try to show her a lot of those types of songs. But I don't know if those songs would kind of be the theme song of how my life is right now. Um, I think if there was one, and this sounds probably very odd and maybe a bit on the money, but there's this song like "Don't Worry, Be Happy." Don't worry, be happy. I mean, I feel like that is a mantra for me uh as I walk through life, right? I try not to take anything that seriously. Again, I definitely work hard and I put my heart and effort into everything that I want and or need, or especially with, providing for the family in that sense. But I really try not to take it too seriously because I think life is about enjoyment,
Yeah.
right? I think life is about being happy. Um, I have a giant, I guess it's, I guess 3 by 5. Um, I don't call it a poster, but it's like this really hard signage, right? That sits right outside my backyard door in my place in Los Angeles. And it's a quote from the Dalai Lama. And it literally says, "The purpose of life is to be happy." Like, that's it. That's it. So I think it's that. I genuinely think it's that. And I guess if there was ever a song that reflected that, it would be that.
Oh, I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Um, so what movie or show do you find yourself quoting more often than you'd like?
Huh. That is a good one. I remember maybe prior to about 10 years ago, I probably watched the movie Swingers, and this was when I was younger, um, more times than I'd like to admit. It was John Favreau's, I believe, like one of his very first movies. Vince Vaughn was there, but it was a very LA actors kind of movie. And I knew that movie front and back like you couldn't believe. So I would quote that movie on every occasion, and so would my friends, because that was kind of the life that we existed on screen a little bit. But it was so incredibly relatable to us because I had a group of friends that were artists and actors in Los Angeles, and um, that movie was something that that really genuinely connected with me for quite some time, and I think it has all of these wonderful elements that are very, I guess, catchy in the sense of movie quotes and the other. So I guess it would be Swingers, oddly.
I love that.
Thank you. Thank you. I have a few other ones, but actually that was oddly the most recent that I would quote all the time. The other
Yeah.
ones were like when I was a kid and stuff.
Mm, yeah. Yeah, I feel like my brain is mostly just show and movie quotes.
Yeah.
I
What are
feel like,
yours?
oh, there's a lot. I feel like the ones that come to mind that right away that I quote most often are Friends and Will and Grace.
Ah, nice.
Um, yeah, so
Nice.
I think those are two of the big ones that I quote the most.
Nice. I mean, those are iconic, right? I
Yeah.
definitely was a massive Friends fan, and yes, I can see quotes definitely coming out of that show. It's so
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, um yeah, there's a lot though of times when like with some friends, like I've quoted things from Will and Grace and they have no idea what I'm talking about.
Sure.
So, and then I have to tell them, no, it's from this show, Will and Grace, that you need
Yeah.
to watch.
Yeah.
So,
No,
yeah,
that's always funny when you quote something and nobody knows what you're talking about. And
yeah,
then you have to kind of explain yourself,
yeah,
right? No, I
yeah,
wasn't being crazy. It's actually from this on this show, on this episode, and yes, and then it
yeah,
becomes a wonderful conversation, I guess.
yeah,
Amazing. Amazing.
yeah, yeah. Um, so if you had a warning label, what would yours say?
Warning label. Interesting. I guess m- might make terrible dad jokes at random. That would be the warning label. I think I do tend to do that, and I get a lot of eye rolls from my daughter, sometimes my wife. Actually, my wife laughs at all of them because she loves me. Um, but yes, terrible dad jokes is kind of my game in my lane right now, and would have to give warnings for the people around me that they just might blurt out at any given moment. So please be aware.
I love that one.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Um, so what is your proudest accomplishment so far?
Ah, I mean, I think it would always have to revert to family for me. I think being able to raise my daughter in such a way that my wife and I have. But I, but it's interesting as far as, parenthood is concerned, because I don't know if you ever feel like you've accomplished anything. It's an ongoing journey and an ongoing process. So, you know, I feel like life is always a journey, and it's you definitely have to be in the moment to live in the moment to appreciate the moment.
Yeah,
Right, and I think, the accomplishments will happen and come and go, and you should be definitely proud of them. But I think it's the life journeys and the experiences of trying to, for myself, do better, be better, right? Be the best
yeah,
that you can be, right? That is always a continual stage of life. And that's, I guess, as far as maybe not the exact definition of accomplishment, that's what I enjoy, right? That's what I'm most proud of.
yeah,
That's what I most try to do and
yeah.
fulfill.
I love that. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, yeah. Um, so I just have one more question for you. So I love inspiring and motivational quotes. And this week, my favorite quotation is don't make yourself small for anyone, be the awkward, intelligent, funny, beautiful weirdo that you are. Don't hold back. Just be yourself. Um,
Yes,
yeah.
love
Is
it.
there,
Absolutely.
yeah. Is there a quotation that has inspired you lately?
I mean, I think the one that would be on my wall and my other place that I mentioned earlier by the Dalai Lama, it's the purpose of life is to be happy,
Yeah.
right? And I think in that pursuit, you have to appreciate the now, right? The
Yeah.
existence and especially the journey. And if you could do that, then you're winning. You're
Yeah.
absolutely winning.
Yeah.
So if that quote is something that inspires me, on a daily basis, hopefully it can inspire others.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I love your quote
Yeah.
too. Your
Oh,
quote's
thank you.
amazing. Yes. No,
Thank
that's
you.
fantastic. That's something that I would definitely tell my daughter and be like, read this, read this. And she'll look at me side eye and be like, I already do that, Dad. Very true.
Yeah. Yeah, it's taken me a bit to like find um like friends and stuff that and people outside of my family that I felt comfortable enough to like let my guard down and be
Yeah,
myself. And now that I found those people, I'm like, I'm sorry, you're stuck with me forever. So
yeah, yeah. And they
yeah,
they love you for it. I think
yeah,
that's the best thing. I think when you live and breathe in your true self, right?
yeah,
I think the people that come around will love every single bit of you. So you should never, I feel, go against that, go against those
yeah,
particular instincts of yourself and be your truth
yeah.
100% of the time.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Well, sorry, I'm losing all my words. I'm just so
No, it's
excited to
okay.
be talking with you. Uh,
Oh my gosh, it's been amazing. It's been
yeah,
wonderful. Thank
thank
you.
you. Yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I've just had the best time talking with you. So thank
Same.
you.
Thank you. Same to me. And thank you for having me on your show and all the best to you and hope,
Thank
you
you.
interview everybody that you ever wanted to interview.
Thank you.
Or
Thank you. Yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your day.
you too. You too,
Thank
Maya.
you.
Great to
Thank
meet
you.
you.
You
Alrighty.
too. Bye.
Bye.
And that's a wrap on today's edition of the latest with Maya.